Hello guys, Kiwi Christian here. You can call me Dean, Jesus Defender, you can call me what you like, I really don't care. Now, whoa, what a few comments we've been having on one of my videos, which I will address at a later stage. But I thought I'd do this video. It's just off the cuff. It's not, is it better with that off? Yeah, it's better with that off. It's not rehearsed or anything, but I have a Dutch friend, Brabble Beast, who commented on my video live response to atheist comments. This is in reply to a video I had done asking atheists, which I've taken down because it's more dealing with anti-theists rather than atheists. And I thank you for those people who pointed that out. So I was wrong to use the term atheist. I apologise. That's why I've taken the video down. Now, a few atheists had responded to my video. My video was basically asking atheists or anti-theists a couple of questions. And the amount of abuse and hatred that I got, also calling me stupid, amongst other things, is typical of a God denier. And I hope you know why I use that term. Okay, seriously. But one person in particular, Rebel Beast, has been very polite, and I love engaging with polite, respectful, friendly people. I totally and utterly disagree with what he says and believes. But I think that we have established that we can agree to disagree agreeably. When we start getting into personal attacks, oh, you're dumb, you're stupid, you don't know what you're talking about, you believe in a great big sky fairy, and don't waste my time, go away. Okay, now, I haven't read his reply, so his reply to my reply of his comment, if you follow. So I thought I'd do this because I speak faster than I talk. So, hi Defender, hello Frank, my name is Dean. Thank you for your extensive response and thank you for your kind words. No problems. Like I said, if two people disagree, there's no reason to get offended at that. Now, if somebody attacks me, oh, you're fat, you're old, you're ugly, you've got bad teeth, blah, blah, blah. Okay, that's all true. Get over it. Get onto something that really matters. Okay? So, you were right about my country of origin, as I am a guy from, indeed, the Netherlands. Go the Netherlands. I actually had a couple of friends over, which should squash any rumours that I don't have any friends or a life. Well, I might not have a life, but and they actually brought me some Dutch biscuits or cookies, so I've been enjoying those. No, I won't go and get one. And I enjoy stroop waffles, so thank you. I have Dutch spices in my pantry, so go the Netherlands. Basically, my alias means babbling the way babies talk, Beast, a nickname given by a tipsy classmate about 25 years ago when she got frustrated with me speaking unclearly. Oh, the amount of times a friend of mine, I'm like, what? So, yeah, I can understand the frustration. My other classmates found it hilarious enough to use it for the remainder of my time there, and I have been using it as a username quite often since it really is already in use. Ironically, there have actually been several Christians that labelled me as a Satanist or working for the devil because of that name. What idiots! That thought never crossed my mind. Maybe the word beast, as in, beast, but the way you've spelt it, I know it's not referring to the beast, i.e. Satan. For you just to have that word and people call you that, no, that's not on. So, on behalf of the rational thinkers of Christianity, I'm sorry. I'm sorry that happened. I don't know you enough, but I can tell that you're not a Satanist. Working for the devil? No. You might be influenced by him, as most of us can be, but working for him, anyway, in conversations there are a number of things I tend to avoid. I try to stick to the topic, the subject. And sometimes, yes, I am a hypocrite. Shoot me. I go off onto different... Because sometimes those subjects go off onto different subjects that in my weak, feeble, deranged mind... There, I've said it so you atheists don't have to repeat it. Because they seem interconnected to me. One of them is making ad hominem attacks, which is one of the things you tend to avoid. When people make an ad hominem attack, that means against the person. So if I'm debating or talking with someone about, let's say, Jehovah's Witness, I say that they're wrong, they say that I'm wrong, I present them with a question or a fact that they can't refute. An ad hominem attack would be them saying, well, you're ugly, you're fat, you're old, you've got bad teeth, you need glasses, you're an idiot, you don't understand. You're attacking the person, not what the person says. A lot of atheists, if I present them with a piece of evidence that came from a creationist's source, they will automatically dismiss it because it didn't come from a scientific source. The source, correct me if I'm wrong, guys, the source is irrelevant if the information is correct. Okay? If somebody told me something and it's true, it doesn't matter what else that person believes. What's important is that he told me the truth. Which is exactly what Jesus did. He went around telling the truth. He called people liars, hypocrites, sons of the devil. He said you're going to hell. You're of your father the devil. Okay, he was speaking the truth. So, I always try to focus on the arguments and content itself, and I'm usually perfectly capable of seeing the person separate from their opinion or views. 2 thumbs up. Good on you. One thing that helps immensely with this is that in my general experience, most theists, someone who believes in a God, now whether that's Jehovah, Allah, Buddha, Zoroaster, Baha'u'llah, that's a good hangman word, Baha'u'llah, that's a different topic. Most theists do have the best intentions for reaching out. Okay, my intention for trying to convince somebody that there is a God, I don't know if I can actually convince them because their mind is usually already made up. But my desire is that I don't want to see you or anybody else burn in hell. So let's just assume for a moment that hell does exist. Let's just, and unless you believe in Jesus Christ and what he did, then when you die, you're going to pay for all those sins you have committed, rather than accepting Jesus already paying for them. Sorry, I've drawn a blank. Yeah, that's the reason. It would not be Christian of me to warn you. If you walk past a house that's on fire and you know there's people inside, do you just keep walking on? No, you warn them, get out! Otherwise you're going to die. I am 100% convinced that an atheist who dies is going to hell. Now, here we go, a little bit of a tangent. People do not go to hell for sinning. Okay? Sinning is going against what God has said. Thou shalt not kill. Well, that sounds a pretty good rule, doesn't it? Brilliant. God has the book of life. In it is written everybody's name that is going to heaven. In my opinion, I could be wrong. Now, your name when you were born was written in the book of life, or the Lamb's book of life. When you consciously and deliberately reject Jesus, i.e. the biblical man, who was born 2,000 years ago, of which there is ample evidence, claimed to be God, had the credentials to back it up, died, rose again after the third day. Again, there is secular, independent evidence for this. Now, if you deny Jesus and what he did for you, i.e. Jesus paid the price that you and I deserve for sinning, your name is blotted out of that book. And it's bye-bye, off to hell with you. Obviously, a baby or a mentally ill person who has never heard of or has no concept of Jesus and who he is, their name is still there because they haven't had the chance to make a conscience. I do have trouble with that word. A conscience decision to deny him. This levels the playing field, as it were. So the tribes out in Africa and sort of Ooga Booga land who have never heard of Jesus or is bowing down to a tree and what have you, they've never heard of Jesus. I believe those people are still in the Lamb's Book of Life because they haven't rejected him. Now, if missionaries went over to talk about him and instead of listening to the missionaries, they put him in a pot, okay, they've been blotted out. They've rejected Jesus. I don't think any atheist will have that excuse. Oh, no one ever told me. Because Jesus will have his little DVD player or what have you and say, look here, such and such a date, here you go, someone telling you about Jesus. Someone offered you a Bible tract. Do I have any Bible tracts here? Surely. Offered you a Bible tract about Jesus and you ignored it and you walked on. That's your decision to reject it. So sorry, no excuse, get your asbestos underwear on, off you go. Okay? So that's the reason why I try and share what I believe with others, Frank. Do I ram it down their throats? No. It might come across as that, but no. I don't think Jesus rammed it down their throats either. I could be wrong, but anyway. Yeah, so I know why I believe what I believe. I'd like you to come to heaven with me. I'm not going to heaven because I'm good. Are you kidding? I deserve to go to the other place. One thing, my general, even those that start out more offensive often turn out to be very reasonable when I remain respectful. You're right. we can all get emotional, can't we? And this is why I am no good at interacting in the street with somebody. I get emotional and I get frustrated, and yeah, I'm not a very good witness. So that's why I like doing this. Okay. In fact, I think most of the aggression from the theistic side is more of a reaction to the rude nature of the internet and atheists in general. Yep, I get a lot of rude and just horrible people who claim to be atheists, and you're stupid for believing that, and yet when I say that, you're dumb for believing in religion, they're sort of like, anyway, right, let's get on with it. Don't get me wrong, there are plenty of jerks on the theistic side too. I agree, I'm probably one of them. But overall, I must admit that the atheistic side, sadly, is generally more rude, disrespectful, and aggressive. Do you hear that, atheists? Here is a fellow atheist saying that most of the rudeness and what have you are coming from you. So, physician, heal thyself. I think this is one of the reasons people react so positive to my attempts at kind and respectful communication, mainly because it seems an increasingly rare thing on the internet. It is. So, Frank, as you say, so while I might disagree with the person wholeheartedly, I'll try to let that influence my judgment of that person as little as possible. I don't like judging people at all, but if I do, rather judge people by their actions and or behavior than by their opinions and views to a certain extent. Yeah, I agree. All this idiotic stuff about Christians, you should not judge. Judge not lest ye be judged. Read the rest of the passage. Christians are called to judge, but to judge righteously, judge fairly. Oh, sorry. That passage that everyone seems to know, judge not lest ye be judged, is talking about I shouldn't judge you for doing something if I'm doing the same thing. It's about don't be a hypocrite. So I don't think judging is wrong. Your motive could be wrong, and people's motives are something that we can't see. We can guess, but we can't see. Okay, for instance, almost all of my childhood friends are devout Christians. Yay! And it didn't rub off on you? Oh, they weren't doing a good job, were they? And even though we have different views, they are very close and dear to me. Good. I'm actually feeling a bit closer to you as well, and I don't mean that in a creepy way. Another thing is that I try to steer away from absolutes and certainties. Okay, in general, my views are quite nuanced and ambivalent. This can even be seen in my usual choice of words, as I love terms like might, likely, most, in my opinion, etc. This is one of the reasons I also try to avoid generalizations, like saying things as all theists are X. This is also one of the reasons why I don't like the verses that portray non-believers as fools. Yeah, there are many things in the Bible that are offensive. I sort of say the gospel is offensive to all sinners. I'm a sinner too, so yeah, okay. I sort of liken this back to what I said to atheists saying there is no God. You can't say that. You can say, in my experience, I haven't seen any evidence, but to make an absolute, definite statement, there is no God, I'm sorry, I go back to what I said. In order to definitively say there is no God, you would have to be omniscient and omnipotent and be everywhere at at once and know everything. To know that there is no God. And because you don't know everything, and neither do I, God could exist in that part of everything that we don't know about. I can understand that you yourself wouldn't use it to shut down a possible conversation, but in my experience, many Christians I encounter online do. What I said was that when I speak to an atheist and I say, is there a God? And they say, no. Well, you've just proven the Bible to me, because the Bible says the fool in his heart has said there is no God. That's a joke. Okay, it's to, you know, come on. I wouldn't use that as proof. Right. The same goes for the often recurring idea that all atheists are immoral, arrogant, untrustworthy, misguided, or that they all know God but just deny it. I would go so far as to many of the ones I've dealt with are immoral, arrogant, untrustworthy, misguided. But what I say is, how can you be those things if you don't have a moral compass as such? Do you know what I'm getting at? Again, who decides right from wrong and why? All of these are generalizations. I agree. I mean, when I say something about the religion of evolution, and they just make general statements. You know, everything you said is wrong. Evolution is true. There's so much evidence. 1 + 1 is 2. There, I just said something. Is that wrong? So yeah. I don't like generalizations, and if I do make a generalization, I don't mean to. Sometimes the mouth works before the brain is engaged. All of these are, to be clear, I dislike this kind of behavior from the atheistic side just as much. I often find myself criticizing remarks like all Christians are stupid, incapable of reason, logical thought, brainwashed, or delusionals. Those sentiments are just as unfounded in my opinion. Oh, the amount of comments that I have had from someone who made a video. So thank you, Nathan. I think it's Nathan. Thank you. He too was polite, but his atheist friends, not so much. So yeah, no, don't waste my time. But there is part of me that wants to respond to everybody. I don't want people to think that because I block them or I don't reply that, oh yay, I've won, he's lost. It's not a case of winning or losing, my friend. Right. Last thing about my approach is that generally I don't try to convert anybody or win a discussion debate. I would love to see somebody converted. Can I win? No, it's not a case of winning. Can I convert someone? Probably not. I merely try to, this is Frank, I merely try to listen to the position of people that have a different view than me, and more importantly, why they have that position, and in return try to explain my views and how I have come to those. It's, you know, a lot of people, including Christians, know what they believe, but they don't know why they believe it. I don't believe in God because of stupid, blind faith. Let there be light. Oh, and there was. Well, maybe that's too much. Can you tell I don't rehearse these? Frank goes on. Personally, I think that the desire to change another's mind only leads to frustration. Besides this, I would consider it a bit arrogant and disrespectful towards the other. I assume you are just as convicted about your position as I am about mine, and that you have just as valid reasons for conclusion as I have about mine. I don't know yet. I haven't heard why you believe what you believe. Just because you haven't seen any evidence, that in itself doesn't mean that there isn't any. But anyway. Again, it would seem quite arrogant to think I would be capable changing somebody's entire belief with a single conversation. Okay, nearly finished. Last thing about my approach is that generally I don't try to convert anybody or win a discussion. Oh, I think I've done that one. Yep, sorry. Hey, I'm 52, come on. Now, the reason I identify myself as an agnostic atheist is because I see those as separate terms. Yes, they are. As you correctly stated, oh yay, I was right on something. Agnosticism is derived from the Greek word gnosis, which means knowledge. Basically, this is about whether something can be known or not. So agnostic means you are without knowledge on something. I am agnostic on driving a car. I do not know how to drive a car. I am lacking the knowledge. Yep, 52 and I do not drive. Theism or atheism is about the question whether or not you believe a God exists. These terms aren't mutually exclusive, as they both cover different fields. You have theists that are absolutely sure or know God exists, and you have theists that don't know for sure, but believe so anyway. I don't know whether I would still call that person an agnostic, or somebody with blind faith. I believe God exists, I just can't prove it. Yeah, I don't know, my friend. The same goes for atheists. There are atheists that claim they are 100% sure no God exists. That's who I was. That's who my last video was pointed at. For you, and I don't mean you, Frank, anyone, to say there is no God, definitely, or to say there has never been, there now is not, or nor will there ever be a God or deity. You would have to know everything, be everywhere, and be timeless, and you're not, so you can't. Like I said, if you knew half of everything, could God exist in the half of everything you don't know about? And there are atheists like myself that don't exactly know God exists, but still hold that belief. That's fine, you just haven't found the evidence for it. Would that be a fair statement? You haven't found, or nobody's presented you with the evidence, or any evidence that you would consider evidence. These were just a few thoughts, clarifications I wanted to share based on your reaction. Sorry for the self-centered nature of the entire comment, no, but I wanted you to know where I'm coming from and why. But as I mentioned before, I would love to discuss any of the topics that have been touched upon earlier, and I agree that it would be better to stick to one topic. So my question to you, is there any particular topic that has your preference? For me, they are all equally interesting. Oh, and someone else replied to you saying, hey, another Dutchie, Gemba Koki. So, hello, Gemba Koki. And again, we have Il Juro making a comment. He's also been, he, she, or it. Those are the three genders I look for, has been very polite, very engaging. So thank you. You're the type of people I love spending time with. Like I said, we can agree to disagree agreeably. Topics. One of the ways, or one of the, in my opinion, just my opinion, and it might be a weak, a stupid, idiotic, whatever, but to me, one of the proofs of God is I'm trying to phrase it, so, you got to be careful with these snowflakes, is really the sheer impossibility of the alternative, i.e., evolution. The Big Bang. Once upon a time, nothing exploded and suddenly became something. It rained on the rocks for millions of years and it formed a primordial soup, and the soup, lightning hit the soup and the soup came alive, and here we are. So Granddad is a rock. Whereas in the beginning, God. I don't see how my view is any less ridiculous as in the beginning, a rock. I like to stick to evolution. Oh no, sorry, scan that. I like to talk about evolution. I do not believe there is any evidence that I have seen to support evolution. Now, there's two options in my mind. Creationism, created by some god. As I said, Allah, Buddha, Jehovah, that's a different topic. Or evolution. We're here by chance. And a heck of a lot of luck. Those are the two options that, as I see it. Now we have to define evolution because there are several different definitions. Evolution, if by evolution we mean speciation or changes within a kind, sure, that happens. We observe it, we see it. If you mean that everything is interrelated, like what Darwin thought, who had no degrees in anything except theology, then I'm sorry, that's fairy tale, that we all have a common ancestor. Sorry. I.e., a wolf, a dog, and a coyote. They're obviously all different species of the same kind of animal. Tiger, cat, lion. There are obviously three different species of the same kind. Feline, canine. Okay? To say that those have a common ancestor, that they're all related to each other, absolute rubbish! Fairy tale! So, if you want to talk about anything, Big Bang, speciation, DNA, fossils, dating methods, I'd be up for that. I'm not an expert on anything. I'm just some old guy in New Zealand who loves God and cannot see how anyone can deny him. So anyway, ka pai, which is Maori for thank you. So thank you for watching. Thank you for those people that are polite and who don't make ad hominem attacks. I will post a couple of links to some videos on this video that sort of may help you. I might post a few things as well. So thank you, Frank. Don't be offended if I say God bless you. So God bless you. I hope that we can carry on this polite conversation. Okay, look after yourselves and stay safe.